Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this episode of Second Home. Today we are here at the British Embassy and are covering the Kuwaiti British Floral Art Exhibition. The proceeds of this exhibition are to go to the Rudy A. Menon Foundation. The British Embassy is also celebrating 120 years of friendship with Kuwait and Britain. Lots to look forward to, so stay tuned. We are here at the British Embassy and in conversation with the wife of the British Ambassador, Lavinia Davenport. Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
It's a delight to be here. I was looking at some of the exhibits here, and it is about the flora found in the British Embassy itself. And this is a Kuwaiti British floral art exhibition.
Exactly, that's right.
Tell us more.
It's a combination of Kuwaiti and British creative genius, all based on the flowers in our garden. So I had a sweet and gentle group of Kuwaiti and British artists, and we've been meeting over the last 6 months, and we go into the garden with our cameras and we photograph the little flowers. And having photographed them, these wonderful people make beautiful paintings or embroideries, and this is what you see on the walls.
Right, and I was amazed with the diversity of these flowers. I've lived in Kuwait all my life, and I didn't think I noticed all these different flowers.
I have to confess, we have a few imaginary flowers as well. We do branch out into the imagination, but mainly we're based on the flowers in the garden.
Right. Could you tell us a little bit more about some of these exhibits?
Yes. Well, basically, it all started at an exhibition of the Kuwait Textile Association, where I met a wonderful person called Venetia Norris. And she and I had a little chat, and then I happened to meet my friend Vitu Menon, who runs the Rudy A. Menon Foundation. Which is a wonderful organisation which carries out research into the terrible brain cancer of gliomatosis cerebri.
I see.
And we sort of put the idea together. We thought, oh, Venetia can make some paintings. And then we were sitting on the terrace and we looked out at the garden and we thought, oh, Venetia can paint those flowers. And then after that, we met Susanna. And Susanna said she could create some beautiful things. With embroidery, and you can see them on the walls if you look.
Right.
And after that we started to find all these gorgeous Kuwaiti women who were making quilts and embroidered flowers.
Wow, it was all starting to come together.
It all started to bloom suddenly, and so that was just fantastic.
Right. Did you, I understand that it was like on a spur that you thought of this. Is this something you do in all the cities that you've visited?
Well, I always do something funny with art because I'm the daughter of a painter. But in Belgrade, where I lived for 7 years, I did a completely mad thing called Plant the Art. So I found lots of beautiful pictures from the museums in Serbia, and then we went with a group of people and planted the flowers that we saw in the pictures. So here we're taking photographs of flowers that exist, but there we planted the flowers that we saw in the pictures in the art galleries.
Wow, that's great. Very
because
creative.
flowers are innocent and beautiful, and we specialize in this.
Of course. I also love what you're wearing because it means salama, that is peace.
Yes, that's
so
right.
So you do seem like the ambassador who is telling the message, giving the message of peace.
Yes, well, I couldn't give any messages, but I do believe in peace. I mean, at least in my own family and among my friends. I don't like fights and trouble.
Right. If all our world leaders had the same vision. Tell us a little bit more about, I understand that you wanted, you were talking about the relationship between Kuwait and Britain.
Yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit more
about
that.
Well, we thought it was very important that this exhibition wouldn't just be a British artist, and so we then branched out. And in a way, the creative relationship between the painters and the embroiderers and the quilters is a symbol of the greater relationship, the special relationship between our two countries.
Right.
And we're very excited to be celebrating 120 years of Kuwaiti-British friendship.
Wow, 120.
Yes, long time.
Long time. But that's the beauty of art, right? It can bring nations together in this beautiful way. Here we are in Kuwait at the British Embassy celebrating 120 years of a beautiful relationship with art.
Yes, exactly.
Got to love that.
It's definitely a celebration.
Yes, it is. And I remember we had this brief conversation about the women in the shadow.
Yes,
I've
been married to a diplomat for 25 years,
right,
and an ambassador for the last 9 years. That's quite an experience.
It is,
and
I'm sure.
I don't. Somebody said in Serbia, where I produced films and did quite a lot of stuff, that I actually was the woman in the shadows. And I thought this is a very good description of me, and that's what I like to be. So in fact, when we have receptions, I welcome the people in, but then I'm no longer seen, so I'm a bit shadowy. I'm a shadowy creature.
So this is different for you. I know it probably took a lot for you to come out here and talk to us, and we really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And
it's been lovely.
it was a delight to talk to the women in the shadow, finally to bring her out in the light, and I hope more people appreciate this about you. The world needs more people like you. So
thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
What a lovely title to your show, Second Home. I mean,
Yes.
it is certainly Kuwait is my second home.
Thank you so much. Thank you for talking. It's with great pleasure that I introduce to you Vidhu, the lady behind the foundation. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Tell us about this foundation that you've started. I understand it's a very noble cause, but tell us, why was this started?
Well, the foundation was set up in 2013 after we lost our older son, Rudy, to an incurable rare brain cancer called glomerulus cerebri. And initially it was set up because I wanted to hear his name. I didn't want the name to be forgotten. So that's why the name, the Rudy A. Menon Foundation. It was a very mother's selfish reason for calling it that, for setting it up.
Understandably so.
But very soon it grew into a foundation, into an entity. Once we received our charity status from the Charities Commission in the UK, it very soon became to fund the research on this particular disease and other rare brain cancers. Right. Because we know what the loss of a child does to a family, to a parent, right, to a sibling.
It could be devastating.
Yes, and we, at any cost, at some point of time, we hope we'll be able to save another Rudy, another family from this grief.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. And I really appreciated what you've written on the banner about Rudy, that he was so compassionate himself. And to start a foundation that's going to help so many other parents is a way of forwarding his compassion to those families too. So you have helped him leave a legacy of his compassion, and I thought that was really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. He was very compassionate. He was from when he was a child. I know we all parents think our children are special, but this one was an extra special one.
Anything else you can tell us about Rudy?
Well, Rudy grew up a perfectly international kid, a third culture kid, as you would call them, born in one country. He was born in India, raised in London, lived in Lagos for a couple of years, lived in Poland for another few years, and went back for university to England. He was the kind of child who was popular amongst peers, as well as the faculty at school, his principal, his teachers, and everyone. And later, when he finished his master's, he went to Durham for his university, and then went to the University of Nottingham for his master's, and there he interned with Eon. Okay. And while he was interning, of course, it translated into a job at the age of 22, and I think that's probably the youngest, as far as I know, in my family and friends, somebody who's started a mainstream job.
Yeah, quite and
so even at his place of work, he has friends who are still in touch with me. Some of them are young grandmothers, some of them are young mothers, but he touched everybody's heart, I think, because they wouldn't otherwise be in touch with me, his mum, 5 years after he left us.
Right.
And even at work, he would organize runs, and he was fitness, passionate about fitness. So he would run himself, and he organized runs in the forest behind his office so that other people who were about 20 years older than him could get fit. So this is just a small example that I can think of immediately. But he was my rock, my safe place.
Right.
And that's why the foundation, we need to save other Rudys who the world will lose if we don't fund the research.
Absolutely. We're with you. Tell us a little bit more about this foundation, the proceeds that have gone to the foundation, and how it has helped the research, and what do you envision, how do you envision the results of that research to spread? Do you envision them to spread globally and help the other cases in the world?
Absolutely. So the foundation, the Rudy M. Menon Foundation, is based in London. The research being done by Professor Chris Jones and his team at the Institute of Cancer Research is also based in London. They have done incredible groundbreaking work in a lot of cancer research, and we're hoping that this is where they will take the research on glomerulus cerebri as well. Right. The foundation not only funds the research, but we also help create awareness.
Absolutely.
Because that is an important part of what we want to do.
Right.
Because with Rudy, for the initial couple of months, the doctors were struggling to find out what it was, right. Because it manifests itself as neurological symptoms and not as oncology, not as a cancer symptom. Right. So they were doing a lot of tests, which was wonderful. I mean, we can't blame the doctors at all. The NHS was wonderful as well. Every test that was recommended was done without a pause. It was only after a biopsy was done in May that they could find out that it was this particular strain of cancer, and biopsy is the only way to find out. And as we all know, biopsies are not done as the first port of call.
Yes.
You try other tests, etc., before you reach,
right.
you know,
in this case, there wasn't enough time.
There wasn't. So he called me on the 13th of February, I remember, in 2013, and I was with him the same evening. We saw a GP, we went to see some specialists, etc., and the process started right there. But between it manifested itself, apparently it's a galloping cancer, and when we asked as to what symptoms we could have looked out for, did we miss anything, when could it have started, there are no answers for that yet.
Which is why awareness at this point is so important. Absolutely,
which is why the awareness is important. And his testing started immediately once I was in with him. And on the 4th of June, the day that he was born, very strangely, the exact time that he was born, he left us. So these 5 years have been hard. It's been a struggle, but we need to do this.
Yes.
And that's why we believe in it.
I'm very proud of what you're doing here as a mother. You mentioned you were selfish, but now you've made it into such a selfless, your contribution to the other mothers. And coming back to the research results, you were saying that it is, I believe you briefly mentioned about how the researchers coming together, not just from London, but also the US, and you have meetings where they can discuss their findings.
That's correct. Every 2 years, we have a conference which us and a couple of other parent-led foundations globally, we hold a conference for 2 days, wherein we try and get the researchers, clinicians, MDs, doctors, everybody to give us 2 days of their time, where we put them in a room together, and they have to talk to each other because they can talk about the progress one particular set of people has made. So this is across Europe and across the Americas. So we have doctors coming in. It's wonderful that they give us that time. They're very appreciative of this because that's the only platform they get to talk to each other. There are European conferences and there are American conferences, but a pan-European American conference every 2 years is encouragement to them.
Absolutely.
And since it's done by parent-led foundations, we feel that if we can put a little bit of pressure every couple of years that we're funding you,
Right.
They're doing incredible work, but every human being just needs a little reminder. They're busy people, very intelligent, which is what we're striving to do. So the conference this year, 2019, is going to be in Barcelona.
I see.
2017 was in Bethesda in Maryland in the United States. So we try and do one conference in Europe and the alternate conference in the Americas.
I see.
And we've had great attendance. They're doing incredible work.
Wow.
And we're hoping for some results, hopefully.
Wow. More power be to you.
Thank you.
To the doctors, your researchers.
Thank you.
Any shout out you'd like to give?
Well, to Professor Chris Jones and his team at the Institute of Cancer Research, it's a huge big thank you for the incredible work they're doing, because we can fund the research, but their research will save the lives.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for talking
Thank you.
to us.
Thank you.
We are covering the Kuwaiti British Floral Art Exhibition, and I'm very pleased to introduce to all of you an artist of this exhibition, Susan. Welcome to our show.
Thanks very much.
I've seen some of your work just while walking in, and it's beautiful because it's on textile, and that is what's different about your art. Tell us more.
Right, well, I'm textile art, yes, one of a few in this exhibition actually. We have the Kuwaiti quilting ladies as well. Mine is more the stitching. So I work on fabric or a canvas and just make the beautiful designs that hopefully other people will appreciate.
So your work also involves needlework, right?
Yes, it's all needle and thread and then on different fabrics.
Different
so
fabrics.
It could be silk or cotton or these pieces here on linen fabric. Yeah. And then you just have the different yarns. It might be wool if it's thicker or thin silk. It just depends.
I really liked how you've left the hoop in and you deliberetely let it hang from that.
Right.
Right. Because that's a great indication of the tool that you worked with.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that it was brilliant.
Thank you. Yes, it's just a nice way of framing it. And as you say, you work on it in the hoop and then just continue with the process, as it were. So it's much easier than trying to make a circular frame.
Right.
Yes, and it kind of, I like it.
That's a brilliant
I like
use of that tool. And about the textiles, you mentioned there's so many different forms. So yours is needlework, and
Yes.
there are other forms of textile art,
Right.
such as...
Well, the textile art, there's a very good group here in Kuwait called the Kuwaiti Textile Arts Association, which comes under Sadhu House, which is a wonderful initiative. And within that group, textile arts, a lot of quilting. The Kuwaiti ladies seem to enjoy their quilting, and we have some very nice work here in the exhibition from them. It's the needlepoint, the stitching, but it also goes a little bit further. And textile art would cover anything knitted, crochet, macrame, felting, all of those things that often you use in daily life are in fact a textile art.
Could you tell us a little bit about what your perception is of the acceptance of textile art here in Kuwait? Do you think there are more artists who do this, or there are people who appreciate who do this art?
There probably are. There's always more than you get to meet, yes? Right. I've been here almost 3 years now, so this is still, I'm new in the team in Kuwait. But certainly I think the Sadhu House initiative is a wonderful thing for Kuwait to have. And they're very much supporting the traditional weaving techniques in particular, but they sponsor speakers to come in, they have exhibitions and workshops and things. So they are definitely putting textile art out there, in the communities. I can't speak to what the Kuwaitis feel about it, but I think the expats certainly are familiar with it, and they support it because everywhere, all of those of us who move around a lot, it's a common theme. There is textile art anywhere. Every country has some kind of textile art, and that's usually one of my missions when I travel is to find it. basically.
Right.
So here I found it because I found Sadhu House, and then it went from there. And that's where I met the other ladies involved in the show. So it's been a wonderful coming together of the Kuwaiti textile artists and myself from a personal point of view to meet them and work with them.
Right. Tell us about the theme of this exhibition. I believe the theme is floral.
Right, it's floral, and almost more specifically, it's florals that we find in the British Embassy gardens. So in a way, it kind of focused you straight away. You don't have to think, what will I do? Because you already know, okay, it has to be, you know. So it takes away some of that preparation work when you've just got a completely black canvas, yes, and you have to come up with, okay, something you have no idea. Right. So this focuses the mind a little bit, which for me is a good thing. So we had a few sessions. We'd come and take some photos and look around. We'd look in the early morning, we'd look late at night and try and just see what is here. And because this garden has been here 100 years, 120 years, right?
Right.
There is a lot of flowers and plants that are not just Kuwaiti natives. They've actually been brought out from the British. So it's a little amalgamation.
Right.
And it's very well tended. It's a lovely place to be. So that was our inspiration.
So flowers, you've been, while working on this exhibition, I'm sure you were focusing on flowers a lot. What do flowers mean to you?
Well, I think flowers is one of those things that they're everywhere, and it's an international language. You know, you never find anyone who says, "Oh, I hate flowers."
True.
No? Some relate more than others, but it's a commonality that we have. So in that sense, I think it's a perfect theme for an exhibition such as this.
Right.
And it's not just Kuwaiti British. You know, okay, that's this one. But you could have a floral exhibition anywhere and it would work.
It would, I'm sure. Flowers bring so much joy.
And even, I suppose, flowers, when we say floral, it's not just the flower. It might be the petal or the leaf, you know, it doesn't have to be colourful. So some of the pieces you'll see here are more of the greens and that of but it's still, it's the whole plant situation, I suppose, that works.
Right.
So.
Thank you so much for
Very
talking
welcome.
to us and
Thank
sharing
you.
it. At the Kuwaiti British Floral Art Exhibitions, and I'm very pleased to introduce to you one of the artists of this exhibition, Venetia Norris.
Hello.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Tell us about your work. I've seen some of it and I thought it was brilliant. The way you've named it was genius. And the map behind the flower, I thought that was brilliant. Tell us more.
Oh, well, thank you for your kind words. Well, it's been an amazing experience to spend time in the garden exploring this incredible green space in the middle of Kuwait. And what I find so exciting is that it's a British garden in the middle of Kuwait. And when I was invited to create some work, I wanted to communicate a sense of space. And I came up with the idea of drawing flowers and plants from the garden in Kuwait, right. And layering them on top of maps that some of them are of the entire United Kingdom and other maps of part, and then sewing the layers together using thread in the colour of the Kuwaiti flag.
Right. I thought that was really neat. The black thread, and then there's the red
White,
thread,
red and green. And then I had great fun with the titles. Let me just remember. This one's called Ongoing Correspondence, Diplomatic Matters. I just wanted to give a sense of the location because I can only imagine all of the conversations and the exciting diplomatic things that have happened right here.
I was asking one of the other artists before, what the theme is also really special, and it's she was talking about how it is an international language really, because everyone understands the beauty of flowers. What does a flower mean to you?
Ooh, so much. I think for me also a flower or plant is intrinsically linked to the place and location and history. For me, so it's all integral.
Right.
And I think Kuwait is a very special place with a different story to tell.
True. And I was also fascinated with how you've created this layer on your artwork.
Yes, I drew on architectural tracing paper. I've recently come to Kuwait, and I find that it's quite hard for me to see things. Dust storms, you have to know where to go, and things are behind walls. There's a lot of beauty here, and it's a hunt and a joy to find them. Right. And I felt that the tracing paper communicated that a little by the maps, just ever so slightly unclear in places.
Right, that was beautiful. I loved how you were, where the thought comes from. Because I was very intrigued with the layering, and I remember you mentioned how history is also so many layers. Yes. So I really appreciate how you've brought all this together at so many different levels. There is so much to see in your art.
I think there's an awful lot of thought and love and maybe a tiny bit of pain that's gone into all of the artwork here by all of the different artists, and it's been a total pleasure to meet other artists and learn about their techniques and skills and ideas. But I love that this exhibition is so varied, and yet we all have come from the same spot, the same inspiration.
Right. And I understand your meeting with Lavinia was where it all started.
Yes, well, that was amazing. I was so fortunate to meet Lavinia, and she came up with this fantastic idea that then just blossomed, and here we are. I have huge thanks to her.
Yeah, so there you are sitting in a coffee shop, and now you've seen that it has been brewing since then, and this is where it has come.
Yes, well, I suppose everything starts with a thought, an intent, and an intention.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for talking to us. Many more thoughts come to you, and may you present more of your artwork here in Kuwait. We'll be looking forward.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are now in conversation with one of the other artists of the Kuwaiti British Floral Art Exhibition. Born in Brazil, she is now representing Switzerland, the wife of the Switzerland ambassador, Clutch Gubler. Welcome to our show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We've seen some of your beautiful artwork here. Tell us which is your favorite.
Well, I'm a botanical illustrator. I do watercolors. It's a technique that was born in the United Kingdom in the 18th century. And this is my expression along the ways, along the countries that I have been visiting. I like very much the blue orchids here.
I love that too.
Because it represents Brazil, it's one of our tropical flowers. And I also like to do city sketches in all the places that I have been in these 27 years around the world, like a globetrotter, accompanying my husband. And I joined the professional artists of this exhibition. More to the end, I joined them as the joker. I was passing by, and Lavinia invited me to join them. And with great pleasure and joy, I'm here today bringing my humble contribution to this wonderful project of Lavinia to help the Rudy Menon Foundation.
Right. You know, we consider Kuwait a place where we have so many different nationalities coming in, and it's so diverse in its culture here. And you coming from being born in Brazil, representing Switzerland, you yourself are truly an international person just within yourself. Tell us about your experiences, about just your journey through life.
It's amazing. I never expect that I would have traveled so much. I thought I would be a lawyer in Brazil. I studied law, and suddenly my destiny changed, and I was given this honor to represent a country like Switzerland, where I learned so much with them. And I'm so happy that God gave me this opportunity to visit so many lands, and perhaps with my little botanical printings, bringing some joy to people. If I can make one person smile in one day, my mission was accomplished. I like to bring joy wherever I am. I like to help. Above our career, representing a country, I also have my humanitarian mission.
Right.
I like to help people wherever I go. It's my contribution to the country that receives me so nicely, and we were so well received in Kuwait, so friendly. It's an amazing land with so many possibilities, so many opportunities. We are extremely proud to be here, happy to be here. And my way to say thank you, Kuwait, is to show them my art, my drawings, my paintings, and I hope they will be happy when they see what I do.
I hope that for you too. About your work, how long have you been doing this?
All my life.
Really?
I come from a family of artists. My grandfather was a painter, my mother is a painter.
Oh, okay.
And
It's
I
a family
decided,
tradition.
absolutely, I grew up in this atmosphere, and I decided to use watercolors as the expression of my world, what I see around me, because it's easier, it's quickly, and you can transport very easily this material.
Right.
So wherever I go, I make a series of sketches of that country, so that people can see my vision. And if this can help someone to visit the country, to research more about that country, that's wonderful.
Right. And I know you were talking about your favorite piece. Both these pieces have been done by you, and your favorite one is the blue flower,
orchids.
the orchids.
Absolutely. I like the color, and I like
and I
flowers.
can see you're wearing blue too, so it does look like your favorite color.
It's an international color.
It is.
And
a royal color too.
It's accepted everywhere and reminds you summer, the sea, the summer breeze. I was born in Rio, and I have inside me the sea, the culture of the sea, the blue color. This could be Greece as well. This could be the whole Mediterranean
Absolutely.
countries. So this is it. But basically, I like all colors. I like to bring to my work the result of my trips around the world. We are all made by, we bring in all of us pieces of visions that we saw. I cannot tell you I'm just Brazilian. I carry inside me the heritage of all the countries where we have been. Peru, Venezuela, France, Switzerland, West Africa, Angola.
Wow.
I have a little bit of all these inside me. Wow. And at the end of the day, I think on all these places and I say, wow, it's been a long road until now. And I can only pray God that I continue to have forces and motivation to travel and to bring my message of hope and joy wherever I am.
That's beautiful, and I join you in your prayer, and I hope when you do move on from Kuwait, you will carry a little bit of Kuwait also with
Inshallah.
you to your next destination. Inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
so
talking
much.
to us.
My pleasure.
We are here at the British Embassy, and I'm very pleased to introduce to all of you the head of the political section, Matt Nottingham. Welcome to our show.
It's a pleasure to welcome you here, Amina.
Thank you. I really had a beautiful tour of the exhibition, and I'm now keen to know more about the celebration that you are doing here of 120 years of friendship.
Exactly.
Wow.
2019 is a very exciting year for us here at the Embassy. In 1899, Kuwait and the UK signed a Treaty of Friendship, and on the 23rd of January 2019, our celebrations really begin. We'll have a year of events marking this momentous occasion in our shared history. There'll be cultural and artistic, as we've seen here, and really representing every aspect of Kuwait-UK relations.
All right. You speak of culture. What do you find are the similarities, or are there any cultural similarities?
Well, I think that there's a deep shared love of art, love of music, and that's going to be reflected in some of the things we're having here. The Royal Philharmonic Orchestra is going to be coming to Kuwait later on this year, which will be very exciting.
Wow.
We have a Scottish pipe and drumming band coming for the launch of our events.
I see.
So it's a really varied selection of our musical scene in the UK.
Lots to look forward to.
Exactly, yes.
About 120 years. I understand that you've been in Kuwait since last October.
That's right. I'm fairly new to Kuwait,
Right.
but I've been really enjoying the hospitality and the friendly nature, which I think is intrinsic to all Kuwaitis.
Right. So I like how a couple of months in Kuwait, and now you have this 120 years of celebration on your shoulders.
Yeah,
so
it's a really exciting time to be here. So I couldn't have hoped for a better start.
Were you surprised to find Kuwait culturally so active and welcoming so many, or did you have some idea about how?
I came to Kuwait with no preconceptions, but I've been really pleasantly surprised with everything that I've experienced here so far.
What is the best thing you like about Kuwait?
The food.
The food,
the fish.
of course.
Yeah. So it's I've had some gut-busting meals since I've been here. My belt line's gone out a few notches since I've arrived. But
it is a foodie's heaven.
It's a welcome challenge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You have to stay fit.
Absolutely. But I think 120 years of friendship we're marking so far, but it's not just a historic relationship. It's very much a contemporary one and looking towards the future. And I think that this exhibition perfectly captures that.
I agree.
The blossoming friendship that we have. With
So
this
true. Beautifully. Well said. Loved it. Thank you so much for talking to us. It was a pleasure. This is all we had time for today. I hope this episode highlighted the importance of appreciating the natural beauty all around us. Until next week, from the team of Kuwait TV2, stay blessed.